the backdrop of this Sunday's scripture, both Elijah and Jesus have reason to want to talk to God, to the Father. Elijah has just routed all of the prophets of Baal and had them all put to death, and now the queen, Jezebel, is seeking his life. And so he's gone into hiding, and now he's gone on a journey and climbed into a cave on the mountain of the Lord, and there hopes to speak with God. Jesus has begun his public ministry, but now with the death of John the Baptist, his ministry begins in earnest, and his own death is foreshadowed. And he has to face this this reality and understand what his mission looks like in the midst of the crowds who clamor for more, his disciples who misunderstand and think he's raising an army. Like all of this, he needs to talk with his Father about, and they each climb a mountain and there commune with God. Probably a little bit too far of an analogy, but I wonder if when the winds picked up, the winds that would toss the boat of the disciples, if Jesus thought of this story from the prophet Isaiah, as he was on the mountain and God wasn't to be found in the rushing winds, wasn't to be found in the roaring fire, that God was found in the quiet, still voice. And it's this quiet, still voice that speaks very much to me this weekend. If God wanted to put a little bit of pressure, right? Just like, yes, we're free, but in the midst of freedom, wouldn't it be nice if God just kind of nudged everybody the right direction? If you just pushed a little bit. And how easy it would be for God to manipulate a little bit, to push a little bit with some storms or some fires, and he could make his presence felt if he wanted. And then Elijah would have to obey him. But God speaks to Elijah in a still, quiet voice. And Elijah has to choose what path he will follow. The Lord lays out for him a path, and he chooses with great freedom to follow it. In the storm winds, in the fear and the struggles, and life is full of these, right? Whether we're on the mountain or out on the water, life is full of storms and struggles. And oftentimes they take away our freedom. Oftentimes they limit our vision. But that isn't the work of God. God isn't found there. That's the work of Satan. The work of Satan who wants to coerce us. God does not coerce. And that's true in church, as well as in work, as well as in our relationships in our lives. If there's coercion, it didn't come from God. And there on the waters, the disciples coerced, scared. And Jesus comes to them and speaks, not shouting over the waters, but in a still, quiet voice that calms the waters. And for us, maybe in our own lives, to not mistake the storms for God's voice, but rather in the midst of these storms, in the midst of the storms of discerning our path and our mission, in the midst of the storms of danger and struggle and strife, whether there are people looking for our lives or the water is coming over the bow, over the stern, for us to be able to find God's voice, a still and quiet voice, that without any pressure, would speak to us in great freedom, and to know that love is only present where there's freedom. And God doesn't want from us a specific set of actions. He wants from us our love. And so He gives us space, and He speaks gently, and He invites us to love, to respond out of freedom in love.